Santiago Canyon College is an innovative learning community in Orange, California, with more than 260 certificate and degree programs. Santiago Canyon College is a proud sponsor of community programming and OC World.
OC World is made possible by the generous contributions of Marisla Foundation, Keith and Judy Swain Family Foundation, Wells Fargo Bank, the University of California, Irvine, Orange County Community Foundation, Farmers and Merchants Bank, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Steve Churm, your host for today's edition of OC World. Tourism in Orange County matters. In fact, Orange County is the fourth largest tourism market in California, behind only San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. In 2023, tourism spending in Orange County grew to $15.8 billion, an all-time record, and 2024 is on a similar pace. Postcard-like weather, 42 miles of beaches and coastline. Major league sports and entertainment all contribute to the allure of this county as a business and vacation travel destination. But the biggest draw of all is Disneyland. Walt Disney's vision has been a magnet for travelers worldwide since it opened nearly 70 years ago. Because of Disneyland's global success and popularity, the City of Anaheim sits at the epicenter of the county's tourism industry. For more than 6 decades, Visit Anaheim has been responsible for leading efforts to promote and market this city to visitors. Since April of this year, Mike Waterman has been at the helm of Visit Anaheim as president and CEO. A seasoned and respected national tourism and sales executive, Waterman stepped into his role earlier this year at a time of transition and some uncertainty for Visit Anaheim. 6 months later, he is resetting the organization's mission, just as the Disney Resort District and Disneyland in particular prepare for unprecedented expansion. Today, OC World is delighted to sit down with Mike here in the Anaheim Regional Transportation Intermodal Center, better known as Arctic, to talk about the importance of Visit Anaheim, the group's efforts to support the ambitious blueprint to grow the city's amenities and infrastructure, and how he is recalibrating the organization's reputation and future direction. Mike, welcome to OC World.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
You know, you've had a varied and successful career in hospitality, tourism, and sales, including Visit Orlando, Visit Houston, where you were president and CEO. What attracted you to the opportunity here with Visit Anaheim?
Yeah, candidly, Steve, all I saw was opportunity, and I didn't even know then at the time that Disney was going to go in front of City Council and ask about their Disney Forward project. So what intrigued me were multiple things. We raised our family in Southern California, so coming back was like coming home. And then OC Vibe, which is, we're literally in the heartbeat of OC Vibe here at Arctic. And they say 4 billion, I project by the time it's open, it's gonna be closer to 6. And it's literally gonna reposition Anaheim as this live entertainment hub, one of the largest in North America. And that to me was incredibly enticing and exciting, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it.
In your opinion, what defines success for an organization like Visit Anaheim?
Yeah, look, we're in the business to promote the city of Anaheim and Garden Grove and really Orange County in a way that gets as many domestic and international visitors to our destination. So for me, it's about being bold, it's about capturing people's attention, and really letting people know how remarkable a destination it is to come and spend 2, 3, 4 days and experience everything Anaheim.
Nice. Since 1961, I referenced it in the intro, Visit Anaheim has been an effective engine in driving both marketing and promotion to create this regional and national, even global awareness of Anaheim and the convention center and its top attraction, Disneyland Resort. However, the reputation of Visit Anaheim was called into question the past 2 years because of the group's relationship with the former mayor of Anaheim, the former top executive with the city's Chamber of Commerce, both of whom have resigned their positions as part of an investigation into some questionable business dealings. My question to you is, did you have any concerns about taking this position as CEO of Visit Anaheim? And in the wake of that controversy, what steps are you taking to really reassure the public and build on that 6 decades of service and success that this is the right organization to promote and advance the interests of Anaheim?
Yeah, look, I honestly had no concern whatsoever, right? At the end of the day, some errors in judgment were made and rectified. And look, I'm coming in sort of a new person walking in and taking a new perspective. And I addressed it right off. My first week on the job, I literally, in front of City Council, apologized to the mayor, apologized to City Council that if our behavior in any way negatively impacted them or their staff, we're sorry, but there's a new sheriff in town and that's not gonna happen on my watch, and we're not looking backwards, we're only looking forward. And I think we're in a place now where the city's on board, the community's on board, and we're just looking forward to what I've affectionately dubbed the golden decade, and the next 10 years are gonna be remarkable.
That's fantastic. In addition to your board of directors, the city has now put in place an advisory board to provide some oversight on Visit Anaheim. Does that change the way you're going to operate? And how have you adjusted to having really two bodies kind of looking at what you're doing?
Yeah, look, we actually think it's redundant because there are two city individuals, city employees that sit on my executive committee and board. So they're fully informed and have all of the transparency of our organization. And that's another one of my promises, to be more transparent and communicative. So the reality is this 7-person board, advisory board, was a recommendation by the state. The city was obligated to, because they committed to doing whatever the state said. The vast majority of TIDs, tourism improvement districts across the state that had these advisory boards have since done away with them. That won't happen right away, but I think over time they'll realize there's some redundancy there. But until then, we're showing up 4 times a year and sharing all of our data that we share on a regular basis with this group, just to make sure they know what's going on.
Let's talk about for a minute the business model that is Visit Anaheim. How is Visit Anaheim funded, and who helps you decide how those monies are spent on what sort of promotions, programs? Talk a bit about the business model.
Yeah, so the business model is pretty simple, and it's in virtually every destination marketing organization, or CVB, we call them different things, are funded through what's called a tourism improvement district. That's basically the hotel community have come together and agreed, voted that they're going to add this 2%, and it can be anywhere from 2 to 6% in the state. It can be any number at once, but most of the TIDs are anywhere from 2 to 6%. Ours is at 2%. So that's about 95% of our funding, about 25 million, give or take, last year. And then we also get funding through our partners. So we have over 600 partners. That's Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farms, all the hotels, restaurants. They're all partners. They pay an annual due to get leads from our team to grow their business. And then we do co-ops and some other marketing things where we match, $100,000. The hotels put $100,000 in, and we do an ad campaign. So overall, about 95% of our budget is funded through this TID. So it's less political because the hotels are paying. The hotels really aren't paying, but the people staying in the hotels are paying. So the better we do, the more visitors that come, the more money we make, which we reinvest, because we're a not-for-profit, reinvest that money back into future marketing and sales promotion.
600 partners.
Yeah.
How do you form a consensus of best ways to promote and advance the interests of this area?
Yeah, good news is we don't have to necessarily get 600 people to buy in. So we have a 24-member board made up primarily of hotel general managers, since they're funding the TID, Tourism Improvement District. And those general managers, along with representatives from Disney, Knott's Berry Farms, OC Vibe, all sort of direct me, so I report it to them. And we do an annual plan, which we're working on right now, and an annual budget, which they both review and approve.
Let's talk for a minute about the just enormous economic impact of tourism in Orange County, but certainly here in the city of Anaheim. And I hope you use some numbers to sort of give us some perspective on what goes on here 24/7 and what it generates in terms of economic impact and benefit back into the community.
Yeah, we use a lot, $10 billion, a million visitors through the convention center, 70 conventions a year, 27 million visitors. Those are big numbers. But the reality is what really we think is the most valuable reason for having visitors come to Anaheim, that creates jobs, that creates in the tourism industry, that creates new restaurants. Restaurants want to come because we have all these international and domestic visitors. So when I get to go out in Anaheim and take my clients or my family to a James Beard restaurant or a Michelin star restaurant, those are here because of the tourist, right? So that benefits the tourist, but it also benefits the locals. And we're working on a campaign. So basically 65 to 68% of the City of Anaheim's annual budget is funded through tourism. So if those tourists didn't come, that'd be about $9,000 more in taxes that the local community per household would have to pay.
Per household.
It's $8,900 per household savings because these visitors are paying for this infrastructure.
Interesting. The Disney Forward expansion, in your words, is a game changer.
Yes.
How so?
Look, they're going to double the density of the park over the next 10 years. It's close to $2 billion investment. They're taking about 130 acres of surface lots. They're building vertical parking garages and putting attractions on all of that. It is absolutely going to be the biggest thing that happened since Disneyland opened, and we can't wait.
A few miles east of the Disney Resort District, here on Catella, just outside the Arctic here, is a project of equal, if not greater scale, OC Vibe. How will this multi-billion-dollar investment and mixed-use project, which is going to be heavy on emphasis in terms of live entertainment, dining, retail, how is that going to reshape thinking about Anaheim and really the offerings that you can promote?
Yeah, it is legitimately probably the primary reason I was excited to come and take this job, because it is the one thing that Anaheim really was missing was this sort of adult forward live entertainment offering. We really just we had the Disney family piece and the double income no kids who want to love Disney. It's an amazing brand. We are grateful for it, but to have this multi complex of entertainment, sports, retail, residential, 8,000 free parking spots, a complete game changer for the community. It's being built for the locals, but it will attract the tourists, right? So the vision of the Samueli family and OC Vibe is we're building this for the locals, so people who want to come or live in the area will come and spend the day and eat and have enjoy entertainment in the 4 different venues, and they're being really thoughtful about how they create the venues. They have a more intimate venue, the Golden Bear, which has a nod to Huntington Beach. So they're really doing an amazing job creating this village that will forever change the landscape of Anaheim.
Well, and there's already an existing major league anchor in the Anaheim Ducks. And this summer you formed a partnership.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that, what goes into that partnership, and how will that benefit certainly not just the Ducks, but the wider play here in Anaheim and Central Orange County?
Yeah, look, we're blessed to have 2 professional sports teams in Anaheim, right, with the Angels and with the Ducks. The Ducks came to us with this proposition to do the first ever away jersey sponsor, and I knew immediately, even though the first price tag they threw on the table was not in our budget, but I knew immediately this was so on point. You think about there's 41 away games. They're in key feeder markets for us, like Toronto, Vancouver, Chicago, Boston, New York, DC.
Interesting.
So we can share our message with clients in those markets at VIP client events in their own market, celebrating the Anaheim message. And we have just amazing opportunities to sort of co-brand what the Ducks are doing, which is building their brand. And candidly, we're building our brand, and it just makes a ton of sense, and that feedback has been ridiculous. Like, fans were like, we hate logos on the jerseys, but man, we really love this one, go Ducks. Like, it's been really fun to see the fans get excited about it, and we're enjoying it.
Well, I think we have moved past that point where there is a sense that uniforms are sacred and it can only be a team logo and a number.
Right.
You see it currently in the World Series.
Yeah.
All of the batting helmets have a retailer on them.
Crazy.
On every team, and I think we're really comfortable with that kind of branding. So this sounds like a smart play.
Yeah, it's super fun. Look, and it's fun to see my competitors in other cities. My counterpart up in LA was like, I was trying to do it for the Kings jersey. I just couldn't figure it out. So congratulations, you guys made it work.
Let's talk about an issue that's very important here in Orange County. We talk about Orange County as a community of almost 3.2 million people, and yet almost 1 million individuals in this county are in low income strata or below the poverty line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable.
Yeah,
A
it's
third of the population here. Anaheim has its share of that demographic. We've talked about the large scale projects. They're going to bring more visitors in. What is Visit Anaheim's role in helping balance the influx of tourists with the needs and the quality of life for local residents at all income levels?
Yeah, it's a great question, Steve. We are actually working with the city. The city came to us recently in the last couple of months and said, hey, look, we think you have resources that we don't have access to, funding mechanisms. So we are working with the city to potentially change our TID model to add some more funding perspective. And within that funding, we would do a set aside for it would be called the Anaheim TID Employee Affordable Housing Program. And the city would run it, and we would fund it annually. And we are close. We are in conversation with the city to figure out how to do that.
Well, good luck with that, because I think it's very important.
Thank
You know, and I've mentioned Anaheim, and we know it's a city with significant economic inequality. What should Visit Anaheim's kind of lead or role or voice be in making sure that the benefits that are being generated from everything you're doing are really shared across the board?
Yeah, we have a couple things. So we have a whole workforce development department. Okay. There are 7 folks in that department. I was just at an event this morning at Anaheim High School, sort of articulating the value of, to high school students, the value of coming to work in the hospitality field. And the hospitality field is one of the few fields where you can start as a bellman or a lifeguard. I was a management trainee, now I'm president and CEO of Visit Anaheim. You can start and then be a general manager, or in some cases run a company. So, we're really about educating the community on the value of tourism. We're also, again, with this affordable housing program, we're trying to create a solution to make it more affordable to live and work in Anaheim. And we're going to do a campaign to articulate to locals, sort of, just like I said, the value of these tourists coming in and saving you, in essence, $9,000 a year in taxes.
We hear a lot about climate change, the climate crisis. Again, what is Visit Anaheim doing to make sure that the improvements that are coming, from the big projects to the smaller kinds of changes and improvements, are sustainable and environmentally, I think, appropriate?
Yeah, the good news is, Visit Anaheim is a small piece of a very large puzzle, right?
Understood.
And we work with the city. Our board is very powerful and have owners and operators on that board. And we have conversations about, I just talked about one of our big hotel owners last week about them putting a solar farm on top of their hotel. And they're in discussions getting quotes to do that. So, and thankfully that Samueli family and the OC Vibe team really gets the value of sustainability, and they're working that into the entire 130-acre complex. So, we're influencers at best, but we're making sure our voice is loud and that we're doing all the right thing as best we can.
This city has a long history of community engagement, sometimes activism, which plays out in a lot of different ways. What are you doing as the head of Visit Anaheim to make sure that you're listening to the entire community about what you're overseeing, what's appropriate, and what needs to be shown in the future in terms of how you operate?
Yeah, we do it a couple different ways. We do it with direct conversations with our city council, individual one-on-one. We also have, we're working on a local sentiment survey, so we're going to survey all local residents and understand what they know, what they need to know, and how we can better communicate to them on a regular basis so they're more informed and aware.
And how do you formulate both the information or the questions you may ask? Is that coming from Visit Anaheim? Do you take input from other stakeholders, constituents to form that survey?
It's a little bit of everything. There's professional companies that figure that out, and they've done this in multiple cities across the country, so they know the right questions to ask. They know, ask about transportation, ask about, safety, ask about all the things that are important to a visitor and to somebody who lives in the community. So we're confident once we get that back, we can craft the appropriate response to let everybody know what we're doing.
Talk for a minute about the convention center.
Sure.
I was surprised, and I should know this, that I believe it's the largest
West Coast.
in the West Coast.
Correct.
How has the convention center come back from the pandemic, both in terms of business travel, shows, conventions? Talk a bit about that.
Look, we're back to normal. Pre-pandemic, we were doing anywhere from 65 to 70 conventions, annual conventions a year. We're right back there. We measure success going forward in pace, meaning are we pacing in future years at or below or above where our optimum is? And literally, with the exception of 25, which we're still recovering because of COVID, because we book conventions in 2030, 2035, so further out. So, but our pace for 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 are all some double digits ahead of pace. So we're trending really, really well from a group convention perspective for the same reasons you mentioned. Great weather, still relatively affordable relative to other West Coast destinations to visit, maybe not to live, but certainly to visit, and we're taking advantage of that.
What kind of relationship do you have with John Wayne Airport?
Yeah, so we have a really good relationship. The executive director is a good friend of ours. We meet regularly. They're constrained by some Newport restrictions relative to how many people can run through when they close. So we're working with them when the contract comes up to try to be a voice to allow them to change that so we can bring more visitors into Anaheim and Orange County.
One of the wonderful scenes most Sunday nights, particularly summertime or during spring break, is to be in John Wayne Airport late on a Sunday, a lot of planes getting ready to depart, and see the number of individuals carrying, Disneyland bags and wearing mouse ears and everything. I mean, it's a real testament to the power of this part of Orange County and certainly that attraction.
Yeah, look, we think Anaheim is sort of the hub of Orange County, and candidly, we're working on Orange County. We think actually has a better brand than Anaheim, and we're going to try to figure out how to sort of own the hub or the heartbeat, or because Anaheim was the first city in Orange County. And Orange County has a great brand, and we'd love to sort of capitalize and utilize that brand lift on our behalf.
Finally, looking 10 years down the road, maybe 15, what do you hope Anaheim looks like? What do you hope its reputation is vis-a-vis everything you're doing?
Yeah, look, if you think about what's going to happen in the next 5 years, right? We got Disney 70th next year. We got FIFA World Cup in LA. We have teams already talking to us about making Anaheim their headquarters. Super Bowl in 26 or 27, 28 the Olympics, and then we're hosting IPW, the Olympics of global tourism. So it is literally like, the abundance of riches for us. So we are positioning, and I am confident that we're going to position Anaheim as literally the ultimate playground for the world. So it's going to have everything you would want to come and experience and spend 3, 4, 5 nights in Anaheim.
Mike, you just mentioned all the opportunities that are coming to Southern California in the next 5, 6 years, including the Summer Olympics in 2028. How is Anaheim and really Visit Anaheim trying to engage with the LA Olympic organizers? And what do you think the potential is to be really involved and help guide that?
Yeah, great question, Steve. So a contingent of 5 of us, the head of the sports commission here in Orange County, my counterpart in Huntington Beach, my counterpart down in Mission Viejo, and a PR person with the sports commission went to Paris for 9 days We actually met with USA Olympic, or the USA Volleyball, the World Soccer Federation, World Volleyball Federation, USA Gymnastics, all, and multiple nationalities, I should say, trying to understand how Paris hosted the Olympics, and more importantly for Anaheim, how we can get a national federation to come to Anaheim for 4 to 6 weeks before the Olympics, and then make Anaheim their home base and travel up to LA to do the Olympics. And it was interesting, having experienced the Olympics in Paris, they actually converted all of their HOV lanes to credentialed Olympic lanes, and we've had 4 calls with LA 28 Olympic Committee and Caltrans and LA Trans and Orange County Transportation, all about how we can do that. So if we can create and convince these entities that they can hub in Anaheim and just take the highways up to LA, they would much prefer that. There's nothing against LA, but there's much more to do here, right, when you're not attending the Olympics. So we're incredibly optimistic. We're having conversations with a half a dozen entities that literally want to choose Anaheim as their destination or home base for the Olympics.
So have you found the Los Angeles Olympic organizers open to your overtures?
Yeah, look, absolutely. They need everybody's help to host this massive event in the U.S., so they've been very open. We've had 4 calls with their team, community transportation team, our transportation team. At the end of the day, they need the Honda Center to host men's and ladies indoor volleyball, which right now looks like is going to be here in Anaheim.
That's fantastic. You mentioned the Sports Commission. I think it's the Orange County Sports Commission.
Orange County Sports Commission.
Talk a little bit about what that group is, what their objective is, and how Visit Anaheim fits into it.
Yeah, so the Sports Commission in most every major market has a Sports Commission, and their responsibility is to get NCAA events, amateur events, to do anything sports related, professional or not, to Anaheim. Matter of fact, they helped us secure the Savannah Bananas along with the Angels. They're coming to Anaheim to play at Angel Stadium May 30th and 31st. So, they're really about identifying opportunities. They put the whole program together at the Olympics, set up all the meetings with the world organizations with the idea that they're going to bring future business to Anaheim.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for your time today. I know how busy you are getting sort of embedded here, and everybody who calls on you, and we're just appreciative of you being here today. You have helped us better understand the critical importance of tourism in Orange County, and especially to the city of Anaheim, the largest and oldest city in our county. With the Disney Forward expansion and the opening of OC Vibe, the next decade will be exciting for Anaheim and all of Orange County. We'll be watching the progress, as well as Visit Anaheim, as you continue to elevate this community as one of the best destinations to visit, frankly, in the world. To view more conversations with Orange County leaders and stakeholders like Mike Waterman, I encourage you to visit OC World YouTube channel. I'm Steve Churm, and thank you for watching this edition of OC World.